Welcome to the hyperinflationary financial labyrinth of South America. Buenos Aires projects images of an opulent, grand, and deeply historic Euro-Centric wonderland. A sprawling metropolis functioning as the Paris of South America, where majestic high-ceilinged architecture, passionate street tango, and world-class culinary prestige create an elite cultural sanctuary. But behind this hyper-polished romantic exterior lies a highly unstable economic grid. Buenos Aires is structurally frozen in a state of monetary chaos, engineered to heavily penalize unprepared international travelers who rely on traditional Western banking habits. If you want to conquer South America's most complex capital without destroying your net worth, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on all notifications. Do not let the grand appearance of European architecture blind your financial radar. Let us deconstruct the Argentine pricing structure. To truly decode this volatile landscape, we must analyze its brutal macroeconomic reality. Argentina is locked in a relentless battle with historic hyperinflation, with local prices fluctuating almost weekly. For the global traveler, this creates a split-personality economic system. If you arrive here blindly swiping a standard foreign credit card at official government exchange rates, you will instantly pay double or triple the actual value for every single meal, hotel, and experience. To bypass this institutional financial trap, you must enter the world of the blue dollar, Dólar Blue, Argentina's massive semi-legal parallel currency market. Smart travelers bypass traditional ATMs entirely, arriving in Buenos Aires carrying crisp, flawless $100 physical U.S. banknotes. These bills are then exchanged on the historic pedestrian street of Calle Florida via local brokers known as arbolitos, unlocking a cash exchange rate that instantly doubles your local purchasing power and slashes your real-world travel costs by over 50%. The absolute premier timeline to execute your Buenos Aires expedition is during the shoulder seasons of autumn, from March to May, or spring, from September to November. During these windows, you bypass both the suffocating, humid heat waves of the southern hemisphere summer and the bone-chilling winter winds blowing off the Rio de la Plata. Furthermore, these months avoid local school holiday spikes, allowing you to secure central boutique lodgings for a fraction of peak season costs, while the city's iconic jacaranda trees burst into brilliant purple blooms. The clinical extraction of your travel capital triggers the exact millisecond you clear customs, and it depends heavily on your arrival gateway. If you land at the primary international hub, Ezeiza Airport, EZE, located a brutal 30 kilometers outside the city center, street taxi syndicates operationally corner unsuspecting tourists. They quote heavily inflated flat rates in US dollars, refusing to use meters. To bypass this immediate fiscal drain, strictly avoid the unregulated curbside drivers. Instead, pre-book a secure, fixed-price transfer inside the terminal arrivals hall using the official Manuel Tienda Leon bus or private car service. Alternatively, utilize the digital ride-hailing applications like Uber or Cabify, ensuring your payment method is linked to a card that qualifies for the specialized tourist MEP exchange rate, safeguarding your capital from the very start. This aggressive hyperinflationary footprint channels you straight into the local lodging bottleneck. The accommodation market in Buenos Aires operates on a strict dual pricing system. Central hotels listed on global booking platforms often quote prices exclusively in US dollars to hedge against the collapsing local peso. To shield your travel capital from these corporate premium rates, execute a geographic retreat. Look entirely outside the heavily commercialized, high-rent tourist zones of Centro and Puerto Madero. Shift your search toward the residential corridors of Villa Crespo or the historic artistic sectors of San Telmo. Connected perfectly to the urban core by the sub-to-underground metro network, these neighborhoods offer authentic, brick-walled private apartments and local boutique guest houses for a fraction of corporate hotel prices. For the global workforce of digital nomads, Buenos Aires presents a hyper-vibrant but logistically frustrating ecosystem. The local cafe culture is legendary, split between old-world historic cafes notables and trendy third-wave espresso bars in Palermo, Soho. However, due to the ongoing macroeconomic instability, many independent cafes hold a fierce resistance against remote workers. They intentionally limit public Wi-Fi bandwidth, heavily restrict laptop usage during peak lunch hours, and remove power outlets entirely to maintain high table turnover. If you must run your remote digital business seamlessly, your premier sanctuary is the magnificent National Library, Biblioteca Nacional Mariano Moreno, or the modern cultural workspaces inside the Centro Cultural Kirchner, CCK. These public institutions offer sprawling, silent work environments and dependable internet access completely free of charge, eliminating the need to buy endless premium lattes just to keep your business online. The cultural and architectural landscape of Buenos Aires is world-class, but it functions as a highly deceptive vertical spending trap for the uninitiated. Famous commercial attractions like the colorful historic street museum of Caminito in the La Boca neighborhood are high-density zones for predatory tourist commerce. Street performers and tango dancers will aggressively pull you into photographs, demanding immediate steep tips in foreign currency. To experience world-class cultural grandiosity for absolutely zero cost, skip the high-priced tour agencies. Explore the magnificent open-air labyrinth of the Recoleta Cemetery, where iconic historical figures like Eva Perón rest among spectacular marble mausoleums. Pair this with a visit to the National Museum of Fine Arts, MNBA, which hosts masterpiece collections from European and Argentine masters completely free of charge. For a deeper dive into Argentina's artistic identity, visit the Malba, Museum of Latin American Art of Buenos Aires, in Palermo. While it has an entry fee, visiting on a Wednesday offers a half-price discount, allowing you to witness Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera masterpieces for next to nothing. Afterwards, walk through the sweeping, free-to-enter Palermo Woods, 3 de Febrero Park, and its pristine rose garden, which costs absolutely nothing and serves as a premier, hyper-safe daylight sanctuary for urban walking. Dismantling Buenos Aires' brutal culinary prices requires a total boycott of high-rent corporate steakhouse chains, particularly the heavily promoted waterfront establishments along Puerto Madero. These venues target wealthy corporate entities and misinformed tourists, charging astronomical international prices for standard cuts of beef. To find the true, authentic culinary soul of Argentina, you must master the traditional neighborhood parrilla, independent, unpretentious local steakhouses hidden deep within residential barrios like Almagro or Boedo. Look for local establishments where working-class residents line up on the sidewalk. Here, you can secure legendary massive cuts of wood-fired asado, bife de lomo, and crispy empanadas for a fraction of the tourist zone prices, experiencing world-class culinary mastery at authentic local rates. When it comes to local street food, bypass high-end eateries entirely and head to the Costanera Sur or Costanera Norte boardwalks. Here, you will find rows of traditional metal food carts serving the iconic Choripán, a heavily seasoned, split chorizo sausage grilled over open coals, stuffed into crusty bread, and slathered in homemade chimichurri sauce. This massive, flavor-packed staple costs less than $2 and represents the true working-class fuel of the capital. Pair it with a street-side Milanesa sandwich or sweet, flaky facturas, Argentine pastries filled with dulce de leche from a neighborhood bakery, panaderia, for a hyper-cheap, authentic culinary experience. When evaluating personal safety, Buenos Aires requires a highly sharp, elevated level of urban vigilance compared to Western European capitals. While violent crime against tourists is rare in daylight hours, the city experiences exceptionally high rates of opportunistic theft and highly sophisticated distraction scams. The high-density transit hubs, specifically the Retiro train and bus station, and the crowded Sunday antique markets of San Telmo, are primary hunting grounds for organized pickpocket syndicates utilizing the infamous spill scam, where an accomplice accidentally drops a liquid on your clothing while another cleanly extracts your phone or wallet during the confusion. Geographically, safety is highly segregated. Neighborhoods like Palermo, Soho and Hollywood, Recoleta and Belgrano are heavily policed, wealthy enclaves where you can walk comfortably with standard vigilance. However, areas like La Boca must only be visited during bright daylight hours strictly within the designated tourist corridor of Caminito. Straying even 2 blocks outside this perimeter puts you in high-risk, unpoliced territory. Avoid entering the villas, informal settlements, entirely. Never flash luxury tech or expensive jewelry openly on the street. Ignore random street distractions, and keep your phone tightly secured in your front pockets to guarantee your personal safety. What the glossy luxury lifestyle travel vloggers deliberately hide from you is that navigating Argentina's hyperinflationary economy requires massive operational patience. Due to the sheer volume of cash required to pay for everyday things under the blue dollar system, you will frequently find yourself carrying massive bricks of local peso banknotes. Furthermore, local ATMs routinely run out of physical cash by Friday afternoon, causing massive, block-long lines at local Western Union branches. If you arrive here relying entirely on a seamless, digital, cashless workflow, you will face sudden, highly frustrating operational barriers. You must possess a calculated mix of pristine cash US dollars for exchange and a zero-fee card optimized for local electronic transactions to successfully navigate this economic grid. Buenos Aires is undeniably an architectural masterpiece, a triumph of cultural resilience, and a pinnacle of South American history. The absolute grandiosity of the Teatro Colón, the unmatched passion of local football culture, and the richness of the local culinary arts are completely real. but it is a destination that will ruthlessly erase your travel funds if you try to navigate it using standard global banking methods. By choosing the strategic shoulder seasons, utilizing the parallel blue dollar cash system, avoiding the predatory airport taxi syndicates, staying in safe neighborhoods like Palermo, and dining at authentic neighborhood parillas, you can shatter the Argentine price barrier, experiencing the absolute best of the Paris of South America entirely on your own terms. Hit that subscribe button right now. Would you challenge Buenos Aires's high inflation, cash-heavy financial system, or do you prefer a more predictable European destination? Comment your smart strategies below. Safe travels!